Okay, Letters to a Young Poet Part 2. But I'm mostly going to be talking about Jacobson. And Jacobson is mentioned in Letters to a Young Poet about how this book, he was saying, Raina Maria Reich was saying to read this book because I started reading it and it's in a different perspective. It's not like giving advice. It's sort of a fiction book talking about a character, Niels Lyhne. I call him Niels. Maybe it's Niels. I don't know. But it's basically like there's so much longing and yearning in this book, and love is just placed on this perfect, like not perfect, but this perception that is just stunning. And so many like guys in this book, like there's 2 characters already that have just pledged their love for another woman, and it just like tortures their soul. But it's like also about the beauty of the woman, like the girl that they're confessing their love to. And for Niles, when he finds love, he takes it to a part of him where he becomes someone else, and it's a better version of himself. It's not like someone that he's not, but he recognizes the people that he's around aren't suiting him for his character and who he wants to be with. Like he mentions, where is it? He mentions boredom, but he said it in this beautiful way. Everything seemed to him to melt together in one great hostile mass of boredom, and he resulted to going to more solitude, being with himself. And Reich talks about so much of solitude because you learn so much about yourself when you aren't really just given so much dopamine. It's like when you are just like silent, sitting with yourself, resulting to this creativity lifestyle to your soul, this natural aspect. And especially now, like with this generation, with like the present times, we are not ever bored. And sure, like we say, yeah, like sometimes I'm bored, like my friends are answering, but no, you have phones, you have TV, you have video games. It's not like that. Like we're always given something to result to, and it gives us no time to be with ourselves, no time to think. And it's why so many of us are stuck in this like funk of not creating, of not knowing what we want to do, because we are never alone with ourselves. And Jacobson talks a lot about just poets and just like architectures, writers, just people that are just surrounded by art, and how they have this like livelihood towards them. And they're always just, not always, but they're always like hopeful. They always have this, it's different perspective that leaves them not in this limited point of view on the world, but this light. And let's see if I can find it. 1 second. Okay. All artists by virtue of their youth rather than their talent, all full of hope, valiant, lusting for battle, and easily moved to enthusiasm. It is true there were among them some of those quiet dreamers who bleat wistfully towards the faded ideals of the past. Most of them were full of ideas that were modern at the time, drunk with theories of modernity, wild with its powers, dazzled by its clear morning light. They are modern, I can't say that word, modern to excess, and perhaps not to the least because in their innermost hearts there was a strange, instinctive longing which had to be stifled, a longing which a new spirit could not satisfy, worldwide, all-embracing, all-powerful, and all-enlightening though it was. But for all that, the exhaustion of the storm was their youth souls. The young souls, they had faith in the light of the great stars of thought. They had hope fathomless as the oceans. Enthusiasm bore them on as the wings of the eagles, and their hearts expanded with the courage of thousands. Like, such a beautiful perspective of life. And I don't know, like, he talks so much about, it's like, it's very different from Reich, because Reich gives wisdom to this young poet, but this is a fiction story giving so much insight on how one boy who's a poet just is learning through everything around him. And it's so beautiful because through loss, through love, through youth, like he learns what it matters to be alive and what he needs to go through. And everything that Wright talked about, he kind of talks about in his book Letters to a Young Poet, or that what he gives to that advice. And I always think about what I always, like, after reading him again, because I read him sophomore year of high school, I read him this year, I really wanted to talk to him. He's dead. But it's like, I want to know what they would say about this present times, because we're just so consumed by dopamine. We're just always on our phones. We're never really in this lifestyle we should be living. Like, we're getting killed. Our souls are drowning in this excess of dopamine we aren't even getting from life. And it is just leaving us filled with depression and anxiety and feeling not good enough, because we're resulting to something that's not even real. Like, yes, but it's fake dopamine. And I was thinking about this, and Reich would say, like, I don't know if he could give me advice because he's not living through this experience. And a lot of his advice he gives to this young poet in his book is that he's learned from his own, like, trauma, his own past experience, and this is the advice he's giving. And since he's not in this present times, I feel like that's what he would tell me. Like, he wouldn't really know what to say except to follow my heart, to listen to myself, and to not really rely on the outside world, but rely on myself. And Jacobson, like, his book, I literally was not expecting this at all, but it's stunning how he writes, and that is my goal as a writer, to write something so beautiful and just convey so much wisdom, like, through the lines, and so much beauty. Literally, let me read you something that Niles went through, talking about longing, and it was like, damn, like, that's crazy. He loved the very thing in her that he could not win. Love this neck with its warmth, flower-like whiteness gleaming with a dew of gold under the dusky hair. He sobbed with yearning, passion, and wrung his hands with impotent desire. Threw his hands around a tree, leaned his cheek against the bark, and wept. How lovely she was, how mild, how fair. He loved her with a desire that knelt at her feet, begging for all the seductive beauty. Cast yourself from the throne down to me, make yourself my slave. Put the chain around your neck with your own hands, but not in sport. I want to pull the chain. I demand submission in every limb, bondage, and arts. Okay, maybe that's a little bit more deep and aggressive. But he talks all about this, and it's like these men throwing themselves at this woman, for, like, different women, for their beauty, but also they surrender part of themselves. Wait, I have to find something. 1 second. Okay, after this guy, like, pledged his love for this woman, she says, if you make a human being your god and the ruler of your fate, you must bow to the will of your divinity. But it is never wise to make yourself gods, or to give your soul over to another, for there are gods who will not step down from their pedestals. Be sensible. Your God is so small and so little worth of your worship. Turn from it and be happy with one of your daughters of the land. She's basically saying, like, when you love someone, do not give your whole self over to them, or you will lose yourself, and that's not the point of love. You still have your own ideals, your own values that you need to put on the pedestal, not this person. Okay, that's one. And then listen to Niles. I'm about to run out of time. I can't read. This chasing after yourself, craftily observing your own tracks in a circle, of course. This sham diving into the stream of life, while all the time you sat angling after yourself, fitting yourself of one incurious disguise of another. If he could be overwhelmed by something, life, love, passion, so that he can no longer shape into poems, but he had to let it shape him. Basically saying that he was always chasing this version of himself that he wanted to be, but he couldn't find it because he wasn't living in the moment. And Wright talks about that a lot too. So you have to live in the moment. You have to experience and just think about everything that's happening to you, and observe yourself, because you have this life. You are in control of your life, and you can change anything at any moment. Like, you need to stop letting the tiny things of your life control you, because you are the master of your fate, the captain of your destiny. Like, you need to remember that every day. And create. I'm running out of time, but create. Always create. And experience boredom. Stop going on your phone. Stop going on your phone. Do something else. It'll be worthwhile. Maybe you'll fall in love.